I'm in Bornholm's Indoor Golf Centre in Tyne, and today I want to talk about the golf swing and in particular understanding what the task is. Most of us, when we're playing golf, we're hitting the ball, our focus is on how we're moving. Various swing thoughts. It could be keeping your left arm straight, it could be keeping your head still. There's thousands of these swing thoughts, but they're all focused on how we're moving and not on what are we trying to do here? What is our task? So what is our task? Well, from the smallest chips to the longest drives, our task remains the same, to move the ball in that direction. When we're hitting long shots, it's as far as possible. When we're hitting shorter shots, it's the right distance, but always we're trying to move the ball in that direction. So the club face needs to move through the ball and push it in that direction towards the target. Now, in order for that to happen, the bottom of the club, in nearly all cases, also has to brush the surface of the ground, like this. Now, we're quite lucky that in order to swing the club face through the ball correctly, that the bottom of the club also needs to brush the ground. And that's because even though they're two different parts of the same task, brushing the ground with the club is easier for us to understand. When I swing the club here and try and brush the ground, my thoughts are swing through. And that's exactly what we need to do when we're actually hitting the golf ball. Additionally, when we're brushing the ground, we can observe how and where we did it, so it gives us feedback. So let's make our task brushing the ground correctly, because if we brush the ground correctly, then we swing through the ball correctly. We need to brush the ground at the right place, we need to brush the ground in the right direction, and we need to brush the ground at the right depth. Now, to help with that, I've just drawn a line with standard chalk in the mat, and the idea is just to remove the line, because this will give us feedback on whether we're doing it correctly or not. So I can see there that I've removed the chalk, so I've brushed the ground in the right place. Because it's a line, it gives me a visual reference as to whether I've brushed the ground in the right direction. It will be quite visible if you came from outside in or inside out. You could see the chalk line helps you determine whether you're in the right direction. And as for the right depth, not only can you see it, but more so you can feel whether you're swinging in the right depth. You get that comfortable contact with the ground. If you're too deep, you get this sort of uncomfortable jolt through the joints. And of course, if you're not deep enough, you miss the mat, and you can feel that too. So you can hear and feel when the depth of your swing is not correct. The important thing is that we're focused on the task and not how we're moving our bodies. We're not focused on keeping the left arm straight or the head still or anything like that, or not looking up. Or we're focusing on, are we brushing the mat in the correct way? I can promise you, if you know what your task is, and that task is observable, then you will almost instinctively start to find out the correct ways to do it. So that was a general introduction to what the task is for the golf swing. We need to brush the grass or brush the ground in the correct manner. There are some small variations upon that, depending on what club you're using or what type of shot you're playing. So I'll be making a separate video explaining exactly what the task is for an iron shot, a bunker shot, a chip shot, a fairway wood, and a driver, and I'll be putting them on the playlist. Thanks for listening.